Hi there, it's Elizabeth Pfeiffer from elizabethpfeiffer.com, and today we're talking about judgment, and not just your regular, everyday, ordinary judgment, but judgment from a perspective of energy and what that means for your own spiritual growth and evolution. So, how do judgments serve us? So, first of all, when we cast judgment on another person, when we think they're doing it wrong or they've done something that we don't approve of, they've taken a wrong action, judgment comes up. That's what we call a trigger. You get triggered, you make a judgment, you make a decision about that situation, and you go into whatever emotions that follow for you. So judgments are really, in truth, energetically, spiritually, metaphysically, are never really about the other person because in truth, your soul essence, your energy, the truth of who you are doesn't judge because they already know that we're already a part of a unity consciousness. Everyone is connected and that we're all the same. So judgment comes up as a trigger that activates something in your wounded ego about yourself. It triggers something within you. And that trigger then brings you into emotions of anger, anxiety, or fear, or whatever it is that happens to come up for you that day. Those triggers show you where you are not in alignment with your soul's essence, right? Because your soul is already whole and already complete and is already perfect, and so are you because you are source soul energy. So whenever triggers come up, whenever judgment comes up, whenever your wounded ego is triggered, it's a reminder to look at some of the pieces that are coming up for you. So that other person that you're judging or you're angry with is actually reflecting to you those wounded ego pieces that need a little attention. So when that happens, the first thing we invite you to do is take a step back. And that can be really hard for some people because if you're triggered, you just want to go to town right then and pretty hard, but we're inviting you to step back, okay? Take that 10 seconds. This is really hard sometimes on social media because social media gives you such an immediate response that you can just type in a comment within seconds. So what we're inviting you to do is first of all, get off of social media because you're triggered immediately into that mass consciousness the moment you hop on. So get off and disconnect and allow that energy of that trigger to really settle in and out, so to speak. Take that 10 seconds and ask yourself a couple of questions like, number one, why is it coming up for you? What about it makes you triggered? Does it trigger you in an old ego wound of when you were little? Was it something that happened in your family that reminds you of this particular situation? Why is it coming up now? What is it that you need to look at? What do you need to spend time on? What part of that wound still needs to be resolved? And what needs to have a little bit more awareness? And how can you shift your vibration out of the lower vibrating energy and then bringing it back up into alignment with your soul's perspective? When you are triggered, and we talked about this in our other video called Psychic Attacks, when you are triggered and you make judgments and you get on Facebook and you write your 40-page post about that particular situation, when you are targeting your energy towards another person, towards another situation, you are sending lower vibrations and psychic attacks and anger and all of your projections, rejections, separations, and judgments onto someone else in the form of either a psychic attack or anger spear. So from a spiritual growth and evolutionary standard, or not standard, but perspective, we're inviting you to look at judgment from a different perspective, to not really perceive the other person as having that problem. I mean, that's their journey. You can't change the way other people think or feel. The only people you can change is yourself. The only person you can change is yourself. You can only change the way you think. You can only change the way that you feel. So your psychic attacks, your projections, your rejections onto another person really is just a wasteful use of source energy. Use it on yourself to evolve. Use it on yourself to move into that next vibration. Move into that more aligned experience for yourself. Use it as a tool to grow. Use it as a tool to shift into a higher vibration. Move into greater alignment with who you really are, and just allow others to be the way that they are. You can't change them anyway, and your anger isn't really going to make them change either. So by exploring what it is within you and your own ego wounds, and why these pieces are coming up for you now, allows you to create more space in your energy to move you to the next level and take you to the next step of more alignment with who you really are, which is that soul source energy who doesn't judge, who has an awareness of unity consciousness and belongs to that more enlightened consciousness grid that's here on the planet for you. So we hope that was helpful. We look forward to hearing your comments, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.